Hello. Hopefully this video was quick, but I like to talk, so it might not be as quick as I want it to be. I haven't decided yet. This is probably going to be part of the discussion that I want to do, but I'm thinking maybe I should. Sorry, I'm looking outside my window and I was like, it would be nice if I started recording outside. Just like the background would be better. Anyways, I was like, I should try and start recording every day for the next month, which would mean I would have to do shorter videos because I don't have time to be sitting down recording, talking for 40 minutes every day. But I was thinking about it. I haven't decided yet. But the thing I want to talk about today, part of the whole mental health recovery journey, is the I think part of the next step in this process is feeling like I have a purpose again. Um, my purpose for the past like few months since the beginning of the year, honestly, has been to sorry, I wanna make it look even. Has been to recover my mental health and to have some sort of mental stability. Um yeah, just like that goal in and of itself. Like behind that was so that I can do the things that I love to do. Just show up for myself, show up in relationships, build platforms and businesses, show up well in school and things like that. And I genuinely do feel like I have made significant progress in my mental health. I didn't know how long it was going to take. I still think there's a long ways to go, but I think part of that now is like engaging in the things that I had stopped engaging in just because of where my mental health was, um, and just like the circumstances of my life. And so I've just noticed over the past, I think 2 weeks, I've been waking up like on my own around like 7 o'clock. I sleep around midnight, sometimes one, and I just wake up at 7, which is great. Which to me is signaling like my mind is really like my mind is clearing. Yeah, just more clarity, more space, and stuff like that. Because waking up used to be really hard. So now it's like, okay, I wake up at 7 and I have like, what is it? I wake up at 7 and the first thing I normally do is like some kind of devotional. So I'm either journaling or I've been listening to hymns when I wake up. Um, I haven't been reading the Bible. We'll probably start doing that again. Just like different things like that. But then after that, it's like I don't really have um, any plan for the day. So like before, what my morning routine would be is wake up, some sort of devotional, exercise, eat breakfast, shower, then start my day. And I knew exactly what it was I wanted to do for the day. Whether I was like working on my business or school and stuff like that. But I'm realizing that I don't start my day after I do my devotional because I don't really have a purpose right now in my life and a purpose beyond stabilizing my mental health and getting back in a good place with my relationship with God. Those have been the only two things for months that I've been like focusing on. So now that my mental health is in a much better place and my relationship with God is in a better place, it's like, okay, I now have the space in my mind and my body and my time to fill it with things again. And I'm just like, what? So that's what I'm here to talk about. I'm here to talk about my passions and the things that I felt like were my purpose. And just, yeah, reminding myself, oh, another part of like the stage in my mental health journey that I'm in is that like rediscovering who I am. I think I said this a couple of days ago when I was recording the day after my birthday. Excuse me. I'm always congested and it's been like stuck, like thick mucus in my throat for weeks. So it just comes up every now and then. But yeah, rediscovering who I am because part of what happened as my mental health was declining was a separation of myself within myself. So I kind of just forgot. I didn't realize I was forgetting, but I kind of just forgot who I was, how I show up in the world, the things that I value, things that I love. It's just, yeah, it was really bad. And I realized that because on my birthday, I had gotten a few messages from some friends just saying what they appreciate about me. And they were saying those things, and it was like, I literally felt like, oh, I forgot, like, this is who I am. And, like, this is how I interact with people, and this is how they experience me, and this is the type of impact that I have on them. I literally forgot. And again, whole bittersweet experience. Like, I like it's a sign of growth that I'm able to recognize that it was lost, but it's also just really sad, like how bad it really was to the point where I literally forgot. Like, I'm the type of person that those types of things stay on the forefront of my mind always, especially where I had gotten to, just like within my identity. About a year ago, I would say, even though my mental health was pretty bad about a year ago, I was still pretty strong in my identity. The reason why my mental health got so bad is because the experiences I was having was not lining up with the identity that I had. So my identity was still pretty strong. And yeah, it was just like constantly at the forefront of my mind, like the things I want to do, the type of impact I want to have, the things I want to build, the people I want to meet, how I want people to experience me, the type of person I want to become. It was just always in the front of my mind and was like informing everything that I did and how I saw the world, everything that I thought. And losing that has been devastating. Um, and realizing that I lost it has been even more devastating than the actual process of losing it. Um, and yeah, so like rediscovering who I am, rediscovering things I love to do, the types of things I want to do in the world, so that when I wake up and I finish my Devo, I actually feel like I have a reason to get out of bed. Um, yeah, I have a reason to get out of bed and start my day outside of just like, oh, I have assignments for school that I need to get done. I have assignments for my internship or for work that I need to do. But like realigning those things with what I feel like I'm able to do in the world and the type of impact I'm able to have. Now tying that to my identity, I don't know. I'm still like my brain. She's still coming back, but maybe like because I tied it to my identity before is why things like got really bad. So maybe I need to find a healthier way to tie like passions and purpose, purpose to like how I see myself in the world, so that the next time my circumstances don't seem to be aligning, that it's not that detrimental. Although I think it was less about me aligning my identity with like outcomes and more so just like when I was struggling, I had no help. I think, yeah, because that's when I started to just like disconnect and dissociate, is when I genuinely felt like I had no help for the things that I was struggling with. So, yes, it's good to talk things through because then you really see. So, yeah, I just want to get back to a place where I'm like, okay, this is who I am. These are the things that I value. These are the things that I love to do and the things that I want to do. And I can do it. And I should do it. So, those things are relationships and community. I love human beings. I have loved human beings very consciously since high school. I think I always have, but very consciously, I have loved human beings since high school. And I love learning about them. I love interacting with them. I love observing them. I love intimacy in real relationships. I love vulnerability. I love growth and development. I love healing. I love human beings because I love God, and God manifests in every single human being. And learning about human beings helps me learn more about God, as the rest of creation does. But I'm talking about human beings right now. And I'm very passionate about seeing people be whole and healed and complete, per my belief in Jesus and Him being the manifestation of a whole human being, and what we are meant to be, and the story of His life and death and resurrection being the story of our lives, and the fact that there is hope and that there is redemption and there is something on the other side that we are working towards. So, yeah, I love those types of things. And that manifests, or it had manifested specifically in the things I was pursuing. So, business, specifically financial empowerment through education and advisory services. Um, Sorry, I think I'm getting triggered. So, not triggered, but I just haven't tapped into the side of myself in months. So, I'm like coming back to myself as I'm saying, and I think there's a part of me that's like afraid to go there and to admit these things. If I cry, that's great because I haven't been able to cry. But yeah, it's a lot. It's it's a lot. Um, yeah, so through financial um, empowerment, education, and advisory services, because the way that our world is set up, if you want opportunities, if you want choices, if you want impact, if you want power and influence, excuse me, you need finances. In order to do that, you need stable finances. You need money that is continuously flowing through you. So it doesn't have to come to you and stay with you, but you're constantly getting money, and then you're able to direct that money towards good means, whether that's community stuff, helping people out that are in financial binds, sending people to college, helping people invest in businesses, like education and just general like empowerment. Um, what else? Yeah, and I don't think there's necessarily anything wrong with pursuing financial empowerment. I know there's a lot of people in my generation who hate money, and I think for valid reasons, people that have money have really corrupted like its use in society. But from as an economist, I think entrepreneurship and providing value is one of the best social engines, social machines that we have for change and for positive change. Um, and not just empowering communities, but empowering the individual. I think there's so much that you learn about yourself and about community as an entrepreneur and about leadership and teamwork as an entrepreneur. I think it is one of the best institutions that we have, honestly. And I wish more people would get involved in it. It doesn't just have to be entrepreneurship for financial empowerment, but I just went in that direction. But yeah, just being able to have more freedom, opportunities, and choices for yourself, but also for the people around you so that you can have more impact in your life, the lives of your friends and your family, the lives of your community. And ultimately, if you get to that level of the life of your society, to get to that level, you have to participate in entrepreneurship in one form or another. But yeah, so that then also kind of on the same realm, economic empowerment. I think I talked about this in the last video, but economic empowerment for the African continent as a descendant from the continent, and someone that is very proud of my heritage, and wants to see more people be proud of it. So that currently looks like the PhD program that I'm doing and the internship that I have. And yeah, I'm also in, because I love human beings and I love relationships. I'm also very interested in seeing people grow and cultivate that and cultivating intimacy. And I know that's hard. We have our fears, we have our experiences and stuff like that, but I'm really passionate about people experiencing like real and true love. And as a Christian, I believe that first comes from a true understanding, revelation, and internalization of the gospel, the Trinity, creation, incarnation, crucifixion, resurrection, transformation by the Holy Spirit. I think an understanding of the gospel leads to an experience of love that is never ending, and then that can lead you to pass on that love to others. other people. So, yeah, that stuff. What else? I'm also very passionate about learning and knowledge. I love to learn. I love to think. I love to philosophize. I'm a philosopher at heart. I have been for as long as I can remember, honestly. And the reason why I love philosophy is because I think it asks the important questions about life and it helps you to really focus on what matters and not be caught up in the distractions of society. Things that try and vie for your attention, vie for your affections, um, and that can keep you trapped in cycles and loops that are not helpful for you, but also are not helpful to the people around you. So that's why I love philosophy because I think it really brings into focus what matters if you learn to ask the right questions and wrestle through those questions in the right way. But again, as a Christian, I keep saying as a Christian because that's the foundation of my entire life and worldview. I think the ultimate philosophy is found in experiencing the gospel and in coming to an understanding and internalization of who Jesus is. Yeah, who Jesus is, what his life meant, and what that means for us in all of creation. I think because growing up in the West, and because I like to ask big questions, obviously I tended towards more like, I would say, Greek ways of doing philosophy because that's how Western philosophy developed. But in the year after graduation, I encountered mysticism, which I can talk about in future videos, and realizing that literally the rest of the world does philosophy a bit differently than the West had developed, and just a more experiential, embodied form of philosophy. And the most embodied form of philosophy that has ever existed is Jesus Christ. Because philosophy, the whole point of philosophy is trying to get to what is important, what is true about human existence. And again, as a Christian, my belief is that it is Jesus. And the way you do philosophy is by experiencing him and allowing that experience to transform you and to reveal truth to you instead of like trying to find truth on your own. Um so yeah. And then what other things? I think those are the main things I'm passionate about. So I'm passionate about people, I'm passionate about empowerment, I'm passionate about the questions that matter for human existence. Um I'm also very passionate about like specifically African empowerment. Um yeah, African all empowerment, African social empowerment, African political empowerment, African economic empowerment. So in that realm outside of like the economic side, I'm really passionate about learning African ways of being. And Africa is a huge a huge region with so many different cultures and so many different ways of life, even within the political borders that are currently established. Just so much diversity. But the reason why I say Africa as a collective region is just because of how underrepresented it is in such discussions of what is important for human life, um, especially growing up in the West. So, yeah, I'm just really interested in African philosophies, African mythologies, and the stories that they told about the world and the things that were important to them, African ways of doing community, African ways of organizing themselves, so politics. And when I say African, I mean traditional. So, like, as connected to um, colonial histories as we could possibly get. And the reason why I say colonial history specifically is because I don't think there's anything wrong with the intermingling of cultures. I think that's natural for human beings. But I don't think the way that we intermingled with European culture through colonialism was natural in any sense of the word. Africans were trading with outside regions long before colonialism. Like I know the Portuguese were in what is today known as Nigeria, trading in that region before colonialism started. East Africans were trading with people from the Middle East and from India. before, and that is a natural way that like cultures and ways of life develop. But so I'm trying to understand what these things were before colonial histories, whether like through it being native from the people on the land themselves or through trade and in like free interactions with other cultures. Um, yeah, so I'm really interested about that. What else? It's like fashion, narratives, um, even like things like architecture and art, um, foods, obviously. I'm trying to think of things that are like different from what I'm used to growing up. So growing up, used to like food, dance, music, things like that. So beyond that, the things that I have said, there was another thing I was gonna say, but I don't remember. Um, Dang, what was it? I don't remember. Okay. Um, yeah. Okay. Anything else? I think those are the primary things. So what have we said? And look, this video ended up being 20 minutes. Genuinely, I don't know how it happens every time. I think I'm gonna come on here and I'm gonna talk for 10, max 15 minutes, and then I talk for 30 minutes. Truly, I don't know how it happens. So, okay, so I said people, empowerment, relationships, um, African social empowerment, and discovery. There are probably other things that I said. Oh, the questions that matter, aka philosophy. Oh, excuse me. Yeah, I think those were the main things that I had settled on in terms of things that were driving my life. And like I've said throughout the undercurrent, throughout all of that was my belief in Jesus. And I guess I'll talk about that a little bit. Um, my belief that Jesus is the manifestation of ultimate reality, the reality that governs all of existence, not just human beings, but all life and creation, and the reality that reveals like how things are meant to interact with each other. I was gonna say the direction of things or where things are going, but I think that is more I don't know, I just like that phrasing better. So the reality, yeah, I forgot what I said before. But the reality underlying all things that exist and the reality of how all of those things are meant to be interacting with one another. That reality, one of the things you could call it is God. I tend to call it God. But as a philosopher, I'm comfortable calling it other things as well. And um, I do believe that it manifested fully in the person of Jesus Christ, circa 2,000 years ago in the Middle East. And I believe that what that reality revealed in that manifestation was ultimately love. Love for creation through becoming a human being, entering into creation fully, through experiencing what all creation ultimately experiences, which is the end of things, or what we call death, and restoring life to that death. So, yes, I do in fact believe in the resurrection of Jesus, not as a metaphorical thing, but as something that materially happened in history. And the reason I believe that is because I believe the people that talked about it genuinely believed that it happened and that they saw it. And I think the story behind it is the most beautiful story that there is, and reveals a lot about, again, the interactions between all things in existence. So, um, yeah, the basis of my entire worldview for all the things I've talked about is love. Love revealed in entering into a situation, experiencing it, and showing the way out. And along with that comes transformation, commitments, intimacy, all the wonderful things. And yeah, so I guess in this, I have multiple videos that I could potentially do. So maybe over the next couple of days, I will record more and talk about it. But I just wanted to come on here today for myself and for anybody else that watches this video. I genuinely think this was really healing to do. I think my body was going through like a reawakening, which is why, anyways, yeah. But I hope this helps to give me a bit of a purpose when I wake up in the morning so that after I do my Devo, I have something to give me momentum to continue with my day. So, okay, I'm gonna end this. I'm starting to make these videos public, so if you see this, hello, welcome. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoy.